Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. I need school supplies for my kids, and I can't spend a lot.
With Staples' 110% price match guarantee for back to school, find an item for less, and we'll match the price and give you 10% of the difference.
So I'll get the lowest price on backpacks?
Yes.
Notebooks?
Mm-hmm.
Calculators?
You bet.
Even?
Yep.
Nice.
Make low prices happen. Make 110% ready happen. Staples. Make more happen.
Price match plus the 10% difference discount valid at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Valid through 9/19/15. See store or staples.com for details.
If we have any listeners, we're currently having some technical difficulties. Just give us a few minutes. We're trying to figure this out. This is the Hot Corner Show. We'll be right back as soon as we figure out these technical issues. Sorry for the delay, guys.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. I need school supplies for my kids, and I can't spend a lot.
With Staples' 110% price match guarantee for back to school, find an item for less, and we'll match the price and give you 10% of the difference.
So I'll get the lowest price on backpacks?
Yes.
Notebooks?
Mm-hmm.
Calculators?
You bet.
Even?
Yep.
Nice.
Make low prices happen. Make 110% ready happen. Staples. Make more happen.
Price match plus the 10% difference discount valid at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Valid through 9/19/15. See store or staples.com for details.
All right, testing. 1, 2, 3 here. I don't know if any of you guys out there can hear me here, but it seems like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try to get this thing kicked off. Not sure if anybody out there is able to hear us right now. If you're not, then you're not. If you are, then hey, great. Hopefully we're here for your listening pleasure. It's your host here, Dr. Ray T, like we are every Wednesday night here on the Hot Corner with Manuel T. Ferrero III, the co-host, the other man who always makes this happen and always gets it done. We got a couple special guests also here with us tonight. We got a great show lined up for you. Hopefully you guys all out there can hear us now. We put a lot of work into this show, and we know it's going to be a great one. So just to give you a little bit of a rundown, we have our health topic of the night. Actually, tonight is going to be about supplementation for your workouts. What type of things should you be taking? What type of things should you take before you work out, after you work out, during your workout, all kinds of different things. So for you guys out there that are always in the gym, this is a great show for you to make sure that all the money that you're spending on your subs is definitely going into the right kind of places here, and it's helping you achieve your goals. In addition to that, we're also going to have David Dwork back on, our CBS Miami lead sports writer, so we can talk some more Dolphins. Awesome showing by the Dolphins this preseason so far. There's a lot of hype going on, and he'll give us a scoop, so get your Dolphins questions ready. Of course, we're going to be talking about fantasy baseball here. We're going to be talking about fantasy football. We got a lot going on, and we actually also have Mr. Jose Estrada from Lidliners and lidliners.com on, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what Lidliners are and what they actually do. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our co-host, Mr. Manuel T. Ferrero III. Manny, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Hey, man, I'm doing. I'm a little frustrated, man. We're having some technical difficulties here. I don't know what's going on with the audio here. But we have no soundboard, Dr. Ray, and we had a bunch of new sounds to play today, especially with the Sports Dwork segment and some other little surprises there. But man, just I hope everybody could hear us, and I hope we don't have any more problems, man. I don't know what's going on here. I guess it's the weather, man. Weather's not cooperating.
It's got to be. Who knows what's going on? Hopefully there is something that we can do. Hopefully we will have a fix for this, because we definitely did have some very cool stuff lined up for you guys. And again, just for your listening pleasure out there, some cool sound bites that we spent some time putting into. But either way, you guys will get them sooner or later. No worries about that. Manny, maybe we just overloaded the soundboards with just so many great sounds that we're breaking the internet. We're pulling a Kim Kardashian right now, a Kim Kardashian. Our sounds have just taken over, just broken the internet just because of the immense just amazingness of them. So that's a definite possibility. I'm voting that's what the problem is.
It's always quality over quantity, Dr. Ray. Quality, brother. This is what we bring you here on the Hot Corner Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for all you guys out there listening, make sure we're also on Periscope right now. You can check out Manny on Periscope, ISPS. You can also check Periscope. You can also remember, you guys can follow us on Twitter if you guys want to converse with us there. You're always welcome to call into the show as well, too. Want to remind you that the call-in number is 347-637-3978. Again, that's 347-637-3978 if you have any questions for our sports dork, David Dwork, from CBS Miami. And also, for you guys listening in, we're about to go to our first guest right now. Normally we play a little commercial, but our soundboard is down right now. We don't know what's going on. We're not even going to worry about fixing it. We're just going to go straight talk tonight, and we're just going to keep you guys rolling through the show here. So anyway, what I want to do now is take the time to introduce our first guest. Again, his name is Jose Estrada from Lidliners and lidliners.com. So let's go ahead and welcome him in. Jose, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing over there?
Doing well. It's good to have you on the show, Jose. So for everybody out there listening, why don't you go ahead and let us know a little bit, real quick, what a lid liner actually is, because the name itself is kind of intriguing. People are probably wondering what the heck is a lid liner. So go ahead and let them know, and then we'll get in a little bit to the social media and where they can find your products and where they can find you. And, we're going to talk a little bit more about all that.
Well, great. Thanks again for having us. And what a lid liner is they go inside your hat, and it's just an adhesive that sticks the lid liner inside the bill of the hat, and so that it absorbs all the sweat from your forehead, all those oils, dirt, anything that accumulates on the headband of your hat. Instead of accumulating on the hat, it accumulates on the lid liner. Once you see that thing's dirty, just pop it out, pop in a new one, keeps your hat nice and fresh and clean.
Very nice, man. I know for everybody out there playing, that's a big deal out there. Even for Manny, who doesn't even get to play in the tournaments, but out there setting them up, it's like 100 degrees out there all the time, and rocking those hats, that sweat is gonna get them dirty, So for your good hats, for your tournament hats, for your golf hats, for everything, lid liners work for all these, right?
Yes, definitely. It fits in any hat. We have firemen using them. We have guys wearing hard hats. Any type of headwear that you have, if it has a headband, the lid liner will stick onto that, and it doesn't leave any sticky residue behind. So once you're done with it, you just take it off. There's no sticky residue left behind, but it absorbs the sweat. It keeps your hats looking fresh. You won't get that salt ring stain on the outside of the hat, and your hats won't start to smell, especially when you get those nice new era fitted hats that you start to sweat in. Once they dry, they shrink. So when you try and put on that hat again, it's always a little bit tighter. So you put this lid liner in, it's going to absorb the sweat, keep that off your hat. It really takes care of the hat. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, not only that, and these new era hats they're about $30-something and stuff. They're expensive. Now, Jose, I haven't really seen anything like this on the market. How long have you guys been out there? When did you first start lid liners?
It is a pretty new product. My partner brought it to me back in 2010, 2011. So we've been in the process of trying to get the product out to the market and to the mass. But of course, marketing is the biggest key. So we're very happy that you guys have us here on your podcast, and we're just trying to get it out to everybody. They come in a pack of 16. So, the thing is that we want you to keep your hats looking fresh. Once that lid liner is dirty, take it out, pop in a new one. So we've been out for a few years now, and it's a great product. We're trying to just get it out to everybody who has a hat.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let me ask you, what is it actually made of? Is it like a silk? Is it like a cotton? What is it? I'm looking at it right now at lidliners.com for all you guys out there listening in. If you're listening in, if we're still having technical difficulties. But what is it actually made out of, Jose?
It's made out of 100% cotton. We didn't want to put any dyes into that because that's the whole thing behind lid liners. We want to avoid irritation, redness from when you put it on a dirty hat. After you sweat in the hat, then you put a hat back on. You're putting on that dirty hat over and over again, and you get that redness, get that irritation, maybe breakouts. So we didn't want to put anything in the lid liner. It's 100% cotton. That's what it's made out of, and it's super absorbent cotton with a few layers in there so that it absorbs the sweat, designed specifically to fit inside your hat.
Wow, that's a really great idea. How long would you say on average one of these lasts? Let's say it's a daily hat, and how do you know when to change them out?
Well, and that's the thing. I've used them golfing because that's where I use them most. Whenever I wear a hat, I'm usually golfing. If it's a hot day, maybe 9 holes, I take a look at it, and I know I'm sweating out there, and I just pull it out, squeeze it. You can squeeze all the sweat that comes out of that thing, pop in a new one. If you're wearing a hat just around town, you can probably leave one in there for about a week or two. So it really depends on the sweat, how much sweat you have. But I leave that up to each person. You want to keep them fresh. You want to keep it, defeating the purpose is keeping it in there and it turning brown, and, you got to switch them out. So that's what we want our customers to do, is keep it fresh, keep them looking good.
Now, Jose, I got a question for you. What about the future? I know you don't want to put any type of chemicals or stuff like that, but what about like natural scents, like some mint or some, maybe keep your hat smelling good also, man. I don't know, maybe I got to charge you for that idea. Hold on. Be careful how you answer that.
There we go. We are actually working on something like that. We want it to be in an inner layer so it doesn't touch your skin at all. So we are working on that. We're also working on something where right now the whole lid liner is white. We're working on 2 colors, so the bottom will be black, the top will be white. So most headbands on the hats right now are black so that you don't see anything. I mean, I wear mine a little bit higher so nobody even knows I have a lid liner in my hat. But sometimes you'll see the little white under, the headband. So that's what we're working on, those 2 things. There are a couple of things. This is a new product. This is the first product we brought to the market. Bottom line is it works great. The appearance, we're going to work on that, and, so that everybody's happy.
Man, that sounds great. I think colors, that's the way to go. That's really something that makes people out there very curious and want to buy multiple ones. You guys can come out with color packs, all kinds of stuff. This is an exciting thing. I'm looking right now at lidliners.com, and for all you guys that have questions out there, they actually have an FAQ section, and we talked a lot about what they have there as well too. There's a lot of people out there that are endorsing the lid liners and what's going on with them. I suggest you guys go to the webpage and check it out. Jose, what made you kind of get into this? What told you this is the way to go? What made you come up with this product? Was there like a hat that you loved that got trashed, or what happened?
You know what? I gotta put that all on my partner. He's actually the inventor of the product. He worked in a warehouse and he'd sweat hats out daily, and he'd just go through hats left and right. And finally he's just like, we got to have something that's going to absorb the sweat and it's going to keep, my hats looking clean and fresh. So we just got to the drawing board, started designing it, got the product in, put it in, and it worked. So yeah, I'm going to have to give that to my partner. He's the one that came up with the idea. Because he was ruining so many hats. We're in our 30s now. We're the ones that buy the hats. The young kids, they don't have, the parents are buying them hats still. They don't care. They can, just keep buying them. But once we buy a new era hat for $30, $40, we don't want to ruin that thing. I had a hat one time. I bought a brand new Hurley hat. It was black. Wore it to the golf course one day. Ruined it. Sweated out. Faded. And I never wore it again. So that's kind of where we came up with the idea. My partner, he's the inventor.
Awesome, man. Well, Jose, man, I know you're at a doctor's appointment, but man, this is a amazing product, man. I can't wait to see it in person. I know you sent us some samples, and we're eager to see them, man. Thank you so much. Remind everybody out there where they could see you guys and contact you on social media and stuff.
Definitely. We have, well, first of all, you guys have it on your website. You guys are selling the packages on your website there. You guys have a discount code that you can give out, and customers go to your website. They can buy them there, or they can go to our website, use the discount code that you're giving out, and they'll get $2 off a pack of lid liners. You can go to our website, of course. It's lidliners.com. You can follow us on Instagram, @lidliners. We got Twitter, it's J Estrada LL. That's our Twitter account. So yeah, we're just trying to get the word out, and it's a great product. We've had anyone who uses it just says it's a great idea.
And how much are they for the pack? You said 16, right? How much is the pack?
Yes, you get 16 in a pack, and they retail for $8.99. So again, use your discount code, you get $2 off. So that'd be $6.99. Mm-hmm.
And for all of our listeners and everybody out there on the replay and everything, the discount code is ISPS, and you guys could just go to lidliners.com and buy it right there under their, what do you guys have, like a shopping cart, right?
Yeah, you go in the shopping cart, put the packs in, and that's $2 off each pack. So if you buy multiple packs, you get the $2 off each pack. And they put that discount code in there, and they'll get that discount.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Awesome.
That sounds great. Well, Jose, we want to thank you for joining us again. And anytime that Manny and I come across something that we think will be good for our listeners out there, we're excited to have it on the show. So thank you for coming on. Feel free anytime you guys come out with something new. Like I said, you get those colors. You put some essential oils in there, whatever the case is. You know, you guys start coming out with some new products because your product out there that's great and is working and everybody's loving is blowing up. Let us know. We'll be happy to get you back on the show here and letting everybody know and updating you about everything that's going on. So again, Jose, thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and keep moving here on the show. We're going to go ahead and move into actually our little ISPS segment that we are constantly trying to bring you guys information about all the ISPS events that are coming on. So Manny's going to go ahead and take over here. We had some awesome music to play for you guys in the background here, but again, our soundboard is giving us some difficulty. So Manny, go ahead and get us going here. Fill us in what's going on with the ISPS events here.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ray. And yeah, man, we had some really cool news, Channel 6 breaking news type of background music, but like we mentioned earlier, our soundboard is currently down. But anyways, really quick, we have some ISPS events, International Slow Pitch Softball events that we want to bring to you guys. August 29th in St. Augustine, Florida, we're going to have a men's tournament at Treaty Park. Then at the same venue, September 12th in St. Augustine, Florida, we're going to have a North Florida Championship Series tournament. Whoa, we have some crazy drivers out there. Then that same weekend over here in Kendall, Florida at Kendall Indian Hammocks, beautiful Kendall Indian Hammocks Park, we have a rescheduled Super Z Hit My Stick because a couple of weeks ago we were not able to host the event because we actually got rained out and we had some discussions with the park and they actually canceled before noon, which was very, very disappointing to us and to all of our players. But anyways, we rescheduled. Be on the lookout September 12th. Then September 13th up in Dunedin, Florida, we have a co-ed softball tournament up in Dunedin, Florida. September 26th back at Mills Softball Complex, Mills Pond Softball Complex. This is a cash tournament for upper and lower men's. Then the North Florida Championship Co-Ed Tournament is October 10th up in St. Augustine. And, of course, our World Championships, which is November 7th weekend in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. There is just 72 days, 13 hours, 36 minutes, and 54 seconds left for that. And really quick, Dr. Ray, if you let me talk about this, Mario Soldiers, a nonprofit organization that I started, me and my family and my friends, we started on behalf of my younger brother who passed away in Iraq. We're going to be hosting a Chip In for Children 7th Annual Charity Golf Tournament, November 14th at Crandon Golf Course. If you or anyone you know plays golf, please have them visit mariosoldiers.org and come out, honor a soldier, play some golf, and make a difference. All the proceeds go to help children in honor of fallen soldiers. So that's pretty much it, Dr. Ray. Talking health next.
Yes, sir. It's time to get into some of that health, and it's usually nice to have these little commercial breaks, man. We got to get this soundboard fixed. But telling you, it really makes the flow happen. So let me see. Maybe I can work on my British accent.
I really hope everybody out there is listening in, man. I really hope this is being broadcasted, because if not, this is really going to get me upset tomorrow morning.
Well, don't worry about it, my man. The great part about it is that if nobody's out there listening, hey, at least we're having a great conversation.
Yeah.
And when we do get to redo the show, then everybody will have some good practice for it. So that'll be good as well too. But regardless, let's talk a little bit of health here before we get to our sports section with David Dwork from CBS Miami. And what we're going to talk about today is working out. Last week we talked a little bit about how to get back into working out and the ways to kind of ease into it so that you don't get injured, so that you don't lose all the work that you put in with all your exercise. So real important. Once you go ahead and you get your workout back on and you say, you know what, this is something I want to do and continue lifestyle-wise, really, really important that what we do is, especially for guys that want to get as much out of it as possible, is supplement correctly. So there's tons of workout supplements out there. Bodybuilding.com, GNC has tons of stuff. What I want to do is give you guys a general idea of, some basics, what to do before your workout, what to do in the middle of your workout, and what to do after your workout, and also a little bit of why, so that you have an idea. So basically, let's go ahead and let's start before your workout. What you guys need to remember is that the whole point of exercise and working out is to break your muscles down so that they can build back up stronger in response to the stresses that you put on them. So obviously, the more stress that you put on your body, the more that it's going to have to respond. But sometimes you stress your body too much, and that's when you get injured. So that's why we want to slowly build this up. We don't want to start where we left off like 10 years ago when you were lifting in high school, that kind of thing. You got to start slow, like we talked about last time. And these supplements can really help in recovery. They can really help you get through your workouts, especially in the beginning when your body's not used to getting all these things done. So let's talk a little bit about what we can do kind of pre-workout. So pre-workout, normally, this is when you want something that's going to help with energy production. So depending on different types of goals, you're going to have different types of supplements that you can take. So if you need to have a high-impact workout, high-intensity workout, you're going to be keeping your heart rate up a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of movements, those kinds of things. Some of the things that you want to do are to get caffeine into your system a little bit. That's always great. And that's a big, big part of a lot of different types of pre-workout supplements. So a lot of pre-workout supplements nowadays, like how they have in GNC and so on and so forth, will cause you to kind of get a little bit amped up, kind of give you some of that feeling. I will tell you that you want to start very slow with the pre-workouts. If you take a pre-workout and it's making you feel jittery, that could be a sign that you're going to be sick when you're done working out. That's not a great feeling. It's hard to work out when you have to try to not throw up while you're working out. So I recommend the first time that you go work out and you use a pre-workout that you test it out before, and don't ruin a workout in that from feeling sick. So start with a half dose, with one dose. Don't overdo it. More pre-workout is not necessarily a good thing. Okay, again, if you don't need pre-workout, that's even better. In my opinion, for those guys that are out there working the night shift and that kind of stuff, and you got to get some energy up so you can work out and stress your body in a controlled manner, it's something that can be a valuable tool. But definitely be careful with that. You don't want to overdose on the pre-workout. My fiance actually had a funny story. There was this pre-workout that's called Hide, and that stuff is like rocket fuel right there. You take that, and I guarantee you're going to be up the wall. But she took one scoop of that, and she literally would go and do a set and go and vomit, and go and do a set and vomit. And it's a funny story now, but that's not something that you want to do. That's not productive for a workout. It's also not very healthy for you, because it may leave you with an uncontrollable heart rate, those kinds of things, and then you may want to be counteracting that with some sort of a depressant afterward, and that's never good, to try to take a stimulant and a depressant to try to get back to the middle. So be very careful with the pre-workouts. I would say that as far as nutrition goes, it's always good to get complex carbohydrates before you get into the gym if you're trying to work out. If you're trying to burn fat, fasted cardio is a good way to do it, so you don't have any energy in your body that you're putting in calorie-wise, and you're just burning saved calories. That's a good thing to do early in the morning, those kinds of things. But if you want to get a good workout, build muscle, those kinds of things, and you're doing a resistance training, complex carbohydrates like sweet potato, brown rice, nut butters, these things are very good for you before the workout because they're going to give you some sustainable energy, some carbohydrates that aren't going to spike your blood sugar right away and then have you crash in the middle of your workout, but instead give you some sustained energy. So that's always a good idea. So pre-workout, I think that if you want to be as healthy as possible and as natural as possible, like maybe like a puffed brown rice cake and a little bit of just black coffee, dark roast, kind of a black coffee. You get some caffeine or some green tea, something like that to get a little caffeine in the system and some complex carb. And that to me is a great workout. Now during your workout, there are some things that you can take also to keep your energy up, especially if you're doing some endurance training, those kinds of things. Ribose is a sugar that actually is used right away by the mitochondria to make more energy. So that's a great way to sustain energy. Ribose is a specific sugar. There's a lot of products out there that carry that. And there's some companies that I work with that sell a ribose powder that you can even sprinkle on top of like a snack of, like I said, like maybe some brown rice and some nuts and those kinds of things and some ribose, and that'll really give you some sustained energy for a long time. For the runners out there, for the cyclists out there, those gel packs that the cyclists take that they're all sugar and they're, those things say, oh, get energy during your workout. You're going to have a crash, and that's going to actually limit your performance instead of enhancing it in the long term. So getting some slow, complex sugars into your system will help give you sustainable energy for those people out there that are, doing endurance training. If you're working out and you're just trying to build muscle, you're doing cross training, these kinds of things, and you're not working out for more than an hour at a time as far as resistance or cardio go, you don't really need to worry too much about these types of things. This is more for kind of endurance athletes, those kinds of things. Now, post-workout, this is when it gets really important. All right, post-workout is when you're going to have the most amount of supplementation change. And sometimes people are a little confused and they take protein before their workout, but you have about an hour window where your body's going to kind of absorb protein a little bit differently after your workout. It's extremely important, especially with a high-intensity workout, that you get protein in right away, because when you work out, you actually give yourself a little bit of a leaky gut to a certain extent, and getting that protein in will actually help protect your stomach as well, too. So it's very, very good. The glutamine, which is an amino acid, is very good for the stomach and also good to help you rebuild muscle as well, too. But BCAAs, or branched-chain amino acids, are a very, very common supplement, and this is something that, again, you can take in the morning, on a regular basis with your foods. It's very good to help your body detoxify, but also post-workout, it's something that can really be beneficial. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, so every protein is made up of amino acids, and your muscles are, in essence, protein. So in order to rebuild muscle, you need these amino acids. So amino acids are very important post-workout, before bed, these kinds of things. This is when your body's going to be repairing. So always remember, carbohydrate before, caffeine before. During, if you need to get some extra energy, ribose and complex carbs are a good idea. And then also post-workout, this is when you want to take those recovery type of supplements. They're always going to have amino acids in there and proteins. And there's different types of proteins. For anybody that has health concerns, the type of protein that you're going to be taking in is going to be important to you. Obviously, if you have lactose intolerance or these types of issues, you don't want to go with a whey or a casein type of a protein, because it's going to basically give you, irritable bowel. It's going to cause these types of problems with you. So when you get to picking your protein, it's important that you try to rule out any type of health concerns first. If you don't have any issues with your stomach, if you don't have any autoimmune conditions, if you don't have any type of immune system allergies, anything like that, any lactose intolerance, if you can drink milk and eat dairy and you're fine, then it doesn't really matter too much for you. Whey is a great idea. Casein is a great idea. Egg protein is another one that's very common with people that are trying to build muscle, because it has the right type and the right profile of the amino acids. But one thing that you want to be careful with, as I mentioned, is trying to avoid dairy if you have any type of sensitivity. But protein is extremely important for building those muscles back up, and that's definitely something that you want to go ahead and take post-workout in that 1 hour window, so that you can absorb it, protect your stomach, and also so that you can get better here. Now, another thing that really helps out supplementation-wise when you're working out is omega-3 fats. And the reason is omega-3 fats are anti-inflammatory. When you work out, as I mentioned before, what you're doing is you're breaking your muscle down. To your immune system, what you're doing is causing a problem. So your immune system says, whoa, we need some inflammation. We got to go heal this area. We got to go take care of it. And so what that does is it creates some inflammation. So what we want to do is we want to decrease inflammation as much as possible so the immune system can concentrate on doing what it needs to, and that's rebuilding your muscles in response to the stress that you just put onto it. So regulating the immune system is a very, very important thing as well too. And omega-3 fatty acids really help with that. In the American diet, like we've talked about a lot of times on the show, we get way more omega-6 and omega-9 and saturated fats than we do omega-3. And this makes people a lot of times inflammatory. So, you know, working out through pain and being sore is a natural thing. But if every time you work out, you're getting hurt and you're hurting yourself more, there could be something else that we need to address and take a look at. So for you guys out there that are working out and getting injured all the time, this is a sign that, again, there may be some immune system issues, some inflammatory issues, but that's really what you want to avoid, because every time that you have to stop and take a break, you're losing all the work that you put out. So remember that if you're not using it, you're losing it. When it comes to working out, you got to be able to build a foundation, and then you got to keep building on top of that foundation. It's kind of like playing Jenga. You want to make sure that you're pulling the pieces from the right spot so that that tower can get up as high as it possibly can, because once you stop it, it all comes falling down. So very important to keep building the right way. And if you supplement the right way, it can really help you as well too. Again, in recovery time and all those different things. So if you guys are interested more in supplementation specifically for you and for your goals, we talked a lot about kind of some general things here tonight. I'm open to, again, to your questions. My ears are all yours. All the knowledge that I have regarding these things for the listeners of the show, I'd be more than happy to get out there. Any specific workout questions or any questions like that you guys have about how to supplement, that's what I'm here for. All right. So again, go ahead and tweet us throughout the week if you like, whatever you guys need. Not only do I have a bachelor's in exercise physiology, I was also a trainer for 7 years. I even taught group exercise, don't tell anybody, but step class, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, imagine me up in the front of a room, 60 girls teaching step up at Florida State. Now that was some fun times, as a matter of fact. Now that I'm thinking about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, that was actually a lot of fun. But at the same time, the knowledge is there, and I'm always keeping up with it. You know, that's my job, to make sure that I know everything that's going on regarding your health, and working out is a big part of it. So again, any questions that you guys have out there, I'm more than happy to help you out with it. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part of the show here. Manny, why don't you go ahead and introduce our next guest here, and let's go ahead and let's start talking a little bit of some Miami Dolphins football.
Man, I had a surprise for him, man. We're working on a new segment called the Sports Dwork with David Dwork. But man, like we said earlier on the show, we've been having some technical difficulties here on the soundboard. Give me 1 second. Let me try to play his intro, see if it plays now. Do you hear anything? Nothing, right?
Nope. The soundboard is down.
No. Man, you know what? Anyways, David Dwork, I believe he's on the show with us tonight. David, are you there?
I'm here.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Thanks again for coming on the show, David. Thank you, man.
No, it's my pleasure, man. It's a good time.
Oh, what did you think about the Dolphins in the last preseason game?
Yeah, it was, similar to the first game, where you're happy with how the starters played. They looked good when it counted. They went into halftime with the lead again. Obviously it's a little disheartening that the backups are struggling as much as they are.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, we're getting the good where it matters the most. So I'm really just trying to focus on that. And, we'll see as we go into the next couple preseason games, and especially the last one for the backups. We'll really give them a chance to continue working their way through the preseason and see if they can improve enough to make us feel a little bit more comfortable. But, just like with any other year, as long as they can avoid the injury bug and stay healthy for the most part, it looks like their ones are really, really good, really on point. So, assuming they can stay healthy, I think we're going to actually enjoy this season.
Well, that sounds good to me. And talking about injury-wise, kind of something that we're starting to see a little bit more of a trend of is Jamar Taylor, who, seems to have kind of locked down the opposite corner from Brent Grimes, who's obviously our star corner. But he had a nice pick in the beginning of the game, seemed like he was playing well, and then all of a sudden injured, limping off the field. And I think at first it was diagnosed as a bruised quad. Do you have any more information on Jamar and kind of what's going on there with him, and any idea about that cornerback job?
Yeah, Jamar, he was held out of practice with the thigh quad injury, and it's really a day-to-day thing. It's nothing too serious. I don't think they're worried about him missing any regular season time. I'm pretty sure you're not going to see him on Saturday unless there's a big turnaround. But, I mean, even so, you don't want to risk anything at this point. And as you said, he's looked really good so far. He had the pick last week. And it's still kind of up in the air, though, who's going to get that second cornerback job. It's between Jamar and it's Bryce McCain. And they've been seen rotating the two between the nickel corner and the main corner. So I think that it seems they're comfortable with both guys. Both guys have looked good during practices. So it's just going to come down to who makes more plays and who the coaches feel the most comfortable with before September 13th. But based on what I've seen, I think either way will be okay.
Nice. Well, yeah, David, I'm here reading your you took out the top NFL fantasy football rookies for 2015, and I just watched Jameis Winston in, I believe it was his second or third preseason game, and I know we have a Jameis Winston fanboy. My lovely co-host, Dr. Ray, is a Jameis Winston fanboy. And actually, one of my close friends, he did some mock drafting, and he's actually picking up Jameis Winston in most of his mocks as his second string quarterback. What do you think about that? And what do you think about Jameis Winston for fantasy this year?
I mean, Jameis Winston, so far, he's passed the eye test. He's looking the part of a starting NFL quarterback. Seems as though his game's transitioning well to the NFL style. Fantasy-wise, it's difficult to say. I mean, the good thing is that he's got a couple really good receivers in Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson. They've got the young Austin Seraphin-Jenkins as their tight end. So he does have weapons around him. The question is, with rookies, more times than not, they're going to hit that rookie wall at some point. They're not used to playing such a long schedule. And, in college, it's much shorter. They don't play as many games. They don't practice as long. So it's just a matter of how good of shape is he in, how hard was he working during the offseason to prepare for such a heavy workload. Personally, I feel as though unless you're in a 2-quarterback league where you need 3 quarterbacks, if you're in a 1-quarterback league, I feel more comfortable with, somebody a little bit more stable as my backup quarterback. But again, it's kind of a high risk, high reward thing with Jameis because he's looked good so far. It's just a matter of will he be able to sustain it throughout the entire season.
What do you think about that, Dr. Ray?
I couldn't agree with it anymore. And, one thing that I would say also is it depends on your league settings. If you're in a league also that does not necessarily have so much negative impact as far as interceptions and turnovers, Jameis Winston might be a little bit better of a play there, but like we saw in his senior year, or excuse me, not his senior year, but his last year at Florida State, which was actually his sophomore year, we did see a lot of turnovers. And that may be something that can really impact you in your league depending on if you get -2 points for that, So if he throws a touchdown but has 3 picks in one game, you're going to be relying on yardage. So like David mentioned, having those weapons around him, it looks like the running game could be there this year because, they have to respect the pass game a little bit more. But both Sims and Martin have looked pretty solid coming out of the backfield. Shifty, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be in pretty good shape. But he does have red zone weapons in Mike Evans. He's got a downfield threat in Mike Evans. He's got a tight end that can run the seam. He's got Vincent Jackson, who I don't know if you saw, but I love the camera angles that they had on that Monday Night Football game. There was one where Jameis was rolling out to the left, and Mike Evans actually got a pass interference call on it. But just, walking the line and tiptoeing right there and catching the ball, probably that was 6 feet out of bounds, and he just kind of fell down catching it with his toes in bounds. That's the type of receivers that Jameis has, so I really think that he could be very productive this year. Like I said, he's got the weapons, he's got the surrounding cast, but like Lenny Melnick always says, a rookie is a rookie is a rookie, and there's definitely going to be some turnovers as he learns the game and as he adjusts to the speed that is in the NFL. And that, I think you kind of saw the first game that he played. He definitely wasn't used to that. And Jameis is going to be Jameis, and he's going to make mistakes, but I think he's going to find a way to win. So I think the Bucs, they do have a pretty good quarterback there in Jameis Winston, and he could be pretty good in fantasy, especially later on in his career. So if you're drafting in a fantasy league and it's a redraft, second string quarterback probably is a good idea. If he ends up becoming great, hey, maybe you can trade the guy that you had as your first string quarterback. But in dynasty leagues, I would say try to get your hands on him if you can, because I think he's got a bright future. And I may be a little bit biased because I bleed garnet and gold, but at the same time, it's hard to deny that he's not threading the ball and putting it in places that it needs to be. It's also easy to say that he's always going to try to be kind of a Brett Favre type and just sling that ball and try to fit it into windows, and sometimes he's going to succeed and make an amazing play, and sometimes it's going to be a pick six. So you got to take the good with the bad, especially in the beginning years. What do you think, Manny? How does that sound to you as a Hurricane fan?
Oh man, how I hate this guy, man. I hate Jameis Winston, man. No, but let me tell you something. In my fantasy, I don't really pick up rookies, man. Look at Johnny Football last year. Okay, remember our bet from last year, Dr. Ray, that I said Johnny Football was he probably wasn't going to make it through his freshman year of NFL. He's probably going to get destroyed out there.
I do remember that.
Why don't we ask David? David, what do you think about Johnny Football? We didn't really have you on last year or last season. What are your thoughts on old Johnny Football?
I have to laugh just thinking about it, just because he's such a clown. It seems like maybe he's figured it out a little bit after the I don't know, infamous rookie season that he had. He seems to understand that you can't just be a group like you were in college when the entire NFL world is focused on you. I mean, he's got the physical skills, but I think with him it's just a thing about understanding what it takes to win and succeed in the NFL and do it consistently. It was fun watching him play in college. He's a very exciting player. He's the kind of guy that you like to watch, that fans are going to pay money to show up for. But you have to wonder, is this the kind of guy who can sustain an entire NFL season? If he can turn that into a career, we're going to have to wait and see. But for now, I'm definitely I think it'd be like a 50-team league before he ended up on my fantasy roster.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that anymore. Definitely somebody I'm trying to stay away from again as well too, until he proves it. And I would say just one season for me wouldn't even be enough either. I would have to see a couple seasons of him playing well and staying injury free as well too. Man, that's really what we talked about was what are the hits going to be like for him with that, the frame he's got. Jameis is a big boy. He's a rookie, but he's a big boy. He can take a punch, but even though he's elusive, look at RG3. He's really struggled a lot because he doesn't have that big frame, So that's an issue there, and we'll see if he can sustain a full season and play well. But that's somebody else that I wanted to ask you about, David. I don't know how much you follow the Redskins there, but what do you think about RG3 saying that he's the number one quarterback in the league?
Oh my God!
I mean, he's obviously delusional, but you can't blame a guy for having that kind of confidence in himself. I mean, that's that's what you want when you're a professional athlete. You want to always be thinking that you're the best. You want to be thinking that you have the ability to succeed. So, I'm not going to knock him so much for having the confidence, but he's got to also have the common sense that if you say something like that, you're going to get a little bit of backing from, the media is going to come back at you a little bit. And to turn around and criticize the media for criticizing him for saying that, I guess it's kind of like Johnny Football, but not as that. He's just got to get his head on straight. Because like you were saying, he's not the kind of quarterback that's going to be able to take hits, and the style of game that he had, what succeeded in his rookie year, but got him hurt in the long run. He's going to have to figure out how to be more of a pocket passer, use his speed to be elusive, getting out of the pocket, not so much running downfield where he can get clocked by linebackers. But as far as this season, he's already gotten hurt. The chemistry isn't really forming with the receivers the way they wanted it to based on what I've been reading. So it seems like unless something really changes in the next couple of weeks, I feel like the Dolphins defense is going to eat them alive week 1.
Oh,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's a good matchup for the Dolphins. Definitely one where looking at the offense right now should be a game that we can get ahead early and stay ahead and see what we can do there against the Redskins. And I am partial to the Redskins. I like the Skins. But I got to say, I'm a full out just Dolphins fan right now, supporting these guys. Loving what's going on here down in South Florida. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of stuff going on.
I'm
Evan
excited.
Mathis oh, yeah, I know. And I was real excited, too. I was thinking maybe we can get Evan Mathis to sign it. But now he's gone somewhere else, and he's made a team, I think, that was already looking pretty strong, even stronger. What do you think about that Evan Mathis signing over with the Broncos?
It's a great fit for them. I was a little upset that Miami didn't go down that route. They're obviously comfortable with what they have. But Mathis, he picked the Broncos. There was word that because Denver signed him for $4 million, and some of it's incentive-based. He turned down an offer from a team that gave him what he wanted, gave him $5.5 million. So he obviously wanted to go somewhere where he's going to have the best chance to win a Super Bowl. You can't fault him for picking Denver if Miami, let's say Miami was the team that made that offer. Miami made a lesser offer. He wanted to go to Denver. We didn't really know leading up to his signing what his mindset was. We didn't know if he just was waiting for a contender, if he was waiting for the biggest contract offer. And now that we see it, it makes sense. But, still, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't come to Miami. It would have been cool if he had came here and said he came here because he thought they gave him a great chance to win a ring. But unfortunately, the Dolphins aren't quite there yet. They certainly look like they could get there with the team they have right now. But until they do it, they got to prove it first.
Man, we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't know about you guys, man.
Manny says we're going. Well, I think we definitely have the tools we got the tools in place. What did you think about Walt Aikens and Michael Thomas back there? They both look like they came up and helped a little bit in the run game. What did you think? And did you think one of them kind of separated themselves a little more, or do you think we're going to see a lot of rotation back there trying to replace Louis Delma?
I think as long as they keep playing how they've been playing, you're probably going to see Aikens more than Thomas. The coaches really like Aikens. He's a product of the Dolphins. They drafted him last year, and he's developed nicely from last year to this year. He's certainly put in the work during the offseason. But in the same token, Michael Thomas, he's also done the same thing. He's done nothing but get better and endear himself to the coaching staff since he was here. And, nobody got off on a better foot than Michael Thomas did, intercepting that Brady pass to win that game 2 years ago. So, both of them are in good graces with the coaching staff. They're both making plays when they're on the field. They still have things that they need to improve on, but it's not going to be as steep of a drop-off as if, Brandon Albert goes down again or, another player who maybe the position doesn't have as much depth, like if we lose Koamisi again. So luckily, the Dolphins were pretty well backed up at the safety position with Aikens and Thomas because, as you said, they both get out there. You see both of them throughout the course of a game. So it's nice that Miami's got that option. And I'd love to see Aikens, continue to just run with the job. He could be like one of those late-round picks that ends up having a long NFL career. He's got the skills and he's got the size. So we just got to see if he continues to ascend.
All right. Manny, you got something for David now? I know that you said you had some questions for him earlier. I just want to make sure that you got them all out of your system here.
Man, I just had I had the intro and the outro for you, David, today, man. Like I told you, I had a surprise for you, man. We worked really hard on it. Dr. Ray, you heard it. Dr. Ray loved it. But man, I promise you, we're gonna get this right. I don't know what's going on with our soundboard, but maybe we overloaded, like Dr. Ray said. Too much quality, man. Too much quality of awesome stuff here on our soundboard. But man, we started a new segment here called the Sports Dwork with David Dwork. David, again, thank you for being on the show. Remind everybody where they could see you. I mean, maybe they can see you if you have some pictures up, but where they can contact you on social media and where they can read your column.
Social media, it's just at David Dwork, DWORK, on Twitter and Instagram. And you can read all my stuff at cbsmiami.com. Just click on the sports page, and it'll all be right there for you. There's also, I have a blog, the Dwork on Sports blog, that I update at least once a week. So, there's plenty of content. And, hit me up on Twitter. Love to talk some Dolphins.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Awesome.
Danny, don't worry about it. Like, I'll get it next week. I appreciate you putting in the work.
Oh, no problem, man. And ask Dr. Ray. Dr. Ray, how did you like it, man? Did you like the intro and outro for the Sports Dork?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it, man. It was great. I think it's going to be an awesome part of the show. Definitely something out there to just keep everybody entertained and keep them going and really moving the flow of the show. I think it was awesome. Manny did a great job putting that all together as you do with everything. So, I definitely want to thank you for all the hard work that you put in. Manny sending me texts at like 10:30 at night, like, check this out, so I know he's working hard. But that's what we do, man. We work hard here to bring some quality out there for our listeners, and now we've got a great source here with David. So David, we definitely want to thank you again as well. And for all the local listeners out there, all the fanatics out there, go ahead and check out David's columns and everything again at CBS Miami. Follow on Twitter. Anything you guys need to know Dolphins-wise, if we've got answers for you, it's here. And we're only talking Dolphins now because it's Dolphin season, but all kinds of Miami sports with the Miami Sports Lifestyle Network. That's what we're here for.
Ask David any types of questions. Maybe you're having some romantic issues. Maybe you wanna learn about a new restaurant opening up in town or something. Just ask David anything. Just ask the Sports Store.
No holds barred.
No holds barred, brother. Nothing's off topic.
No, it's all good. Miami boy.
There we go. It's perfect. It's set. All right, excellent. So, guys, get your questions ready here for the show. And remember, you can tweet us throughout the week as well, too, at ISPSO or at Dr. Ray T. We got a lot coming up for you guys. Again, David, we want to thank you for coming in and telling us again and keeping us up to date on and what's going on not only with the Dolphins but around the league. Looking forward to talking to you after this week. This is kind of the big week of the preseason, week number 3. Real quick before we let you go, do you have anything that you're looking for specifically in kind of the last dress rehearsal before the season, but while the most of the starters are going to be in there? Any position battles or anything that we should be taking a look at?
Well, just like the other games, you're going to want to keep your eye on the guards. You're going to want to see how Dallas Thomas and Billy Turner do, and the rookie Jamel Douglas, and see how they do on the O-line. One thing I'm really curious to see over the course of this game is how the running game, and specifically Lamar Miller, do. He's been out there for a couple series, and he's had a couple nice runs. He had a nice run after the catch last week. I want to see what he can do if he's out there for 2-3 quarters. If he can really get some momentum and turn, a couple nice plays into a nice game. So that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And as we discussed before, watching Walt Aikens and Michael Thomas and seeing how they fill in for Louis Delmas up there. And, as always, I say it every week, but I'm going to be watching the kickers. I'm concerned about the position. I saw that the Broncos cut Connor Barth today, and, I feel like if the Dolphins don't have already a couple of calls into his agent, they're doing something wrong. So we're going to have to see how that all plays out. But, I'm excited. The third preseason game, it's, the tune-up game. It's the funnest preseason game. You get to see the starters a lot. So let's just hope they play well and cross our fingers that nobody gets hurt.
And David, when are we going to see an explosive play down the field, like 80 yards, boom?
Well, if it's going to happen during the preseason, it's going to happen on Saturday because it's not like you can just go out there and hit them like that with consistency. It's tough to just come right out of the chute and nail them in your first couple of series. A lot of the times, so over the course of a game, they run certain plays and they kind of work in patterns so they can set the defense up. They want them to think they're going to keep doing this out of a certain formation, and then all of a sudden they hit you with a deep bomb. So I think if they're going to do it, you'll probably see them take a couple of shots this game just so they can kind of work with the opposing defense and get them leaning one way so they can go the other way.
Hey, and David, one last question from me. I'm a gamer. I don't know if you're a gamer. Have you played Madden 16 already?
No, I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard some good things from a couple of my friends that got away.
Beautiful.
I like that some of the Dolphins rankings are going up because I'm that guy that if I'm playing Madden, I'm playing with the Dolphins. That's it. I'm not interested in playing with another team. So nice to see them getting better in Madden.
Yeah, man, I played it last night. I was up until very, very late, man, playing Madden 16. Very, very impressive what they've done. I'm very excited about this new Madden, man, and all the new things I haven't even really messed with. I just went in there and started playing now, and I did a couple of online games. But really, really impressive. And the Dolphins in the game are an impressive team, very good team.
It's about time.
yeah. That's all you can say, right? Is it's about time. Actually, David, I got one more question for you. This last preseason game, we saw Lamar Miller, in there kind of for most part of the drive, and then all of a sudden we see Damian Williams coming in with what should have been 3 touchdowns. Close to being 3 touchdowns. What would have been a nice 1-yard run until we had the challenge that backfired on us there, but. Is this something that you're expecting to see throughout the season as well, too, him getting these goal line carries? Because that can be a pretty important thing for the fantasy players out there looking for those goal line touches.
Yeah, it's hard to say at this point. I think right now I'd say they'll probably stick with Lamar. It's not like when they had Daniel Thomas and he was like a bruiser kind of back that you brought in there. Damian Williams, he's similar to Lamar. LaMichael James is a smaller guy. And Jay Ajayi, he's not ready to take on any kind of role. He's still, coming into his own, coming back from an injury right now. So I think Lamar would stick with the goal line carries. And, as far as how much we're going to see the backup, which right now it's pretty clear it's Damian Williams, it depends on what Joe Philbin does. If he does what he did last year, we'll see a lot of Damian Williams because Lamar Miller only got 13 to 15 carries a game. But if Joe lets Lamar become a 3-down back this year and lets him get 20 to 25 carries a game, we won't see Williams as much, but Lamar could become like a true legitimate fantasy running back, like one of the top 4 or 5 off the board. If he continues to look this season the way he's looked in training camp, at practice, and in the games, he could be explosive this year. He could be like a big-time fantasy player this year.
Yeah,
awesome,
that's true. I think all good things to look forward to, basically.
Now, Dr. Ray, look at the time, Dr. Ray. Look at the time. I already told you, I think we're going to have to extend this show another hour, at least a half hour, man. Look at the time. We haven't even spoken about fantasy football. And look at what you're doing.
Listen, we've always talked about it. I don't know how we pack it into an hour, but we do. We may have to pack it into an hour and a half. I don't know what we're going to do moving forward, but hey, we're only here once a week, so it's a lot that's going on, especially right now. There's baseball, there's football, basketball starting up pretty soon too. I mean, it's getting crazy out there. But this is it. This is what it's all about. This is sports. This is Miami living. This is health. This is entertainment. This is information. This is what it's all about. So with that being said, Manny, want to thank you for putting together a great show. David, want to thank you for coming on again as well too. We'll get the soundboard up and running. David, thanks again. We'll get the soundboard up and running again for next week. get ready for it next week. We're really going to have a great show. We're going to have some more special guests. David's going to be back, and we're also going to have Denny Crime from Mike in Sports. Great softball player to tell us a little bit about what's going on over there at Mike in Sports. So we're going to have him on next week. And we're going to be talking about more health. We're going to be talking about more preseason. We're going to be talking about the final dress rehearsal before the real season starts, the regular season. And we're going to get into it all. So, guys, until next week, hope everybody out there has a great one. Be well, stay safe, and get your questions ready for the Sports Dwork and the Hot Corner here with @Dr. Ray T and Manuel T. Ferrero III. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great night.